The government of St. Lucia is upgrading the Millennium Highway and West Coast Road with funding from the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Partnerships Fund, which is known as UKCIF, and the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB. The government recognizes the importance of road safety for human resource and economic development and the necessity of raising road safety awareness in the project area and nationally. This is to mitigate the risk of increased speeding on the newly paved road and improving road user behavior. The project area covers the restoration of 49.2 kilometers of road stretching from Latok roundabout to the town of Soufrière, which serves over 13,000 motorists daily. Recent road traffic accident data indicates that between the period of 2015 to 2022, there were 352 accidents in St. Lucia, with 271 males and 81 female victims. Anecdotal evidence suggests that speeding and alcohol use are among the main causes of accidents, and the World Health Organization data also demonstrates that overrepresentation of male drivers among road traffic accident victims that questions the relationship between social norms and hyper-masculinity and driving behavior. Most concerning is that most accidents occur with the younger age groups. Given the above, the government of St. Lucia has contracted Fred Engineering to support socially inclusive and gender-responsive road safety awareness interventions in light of the upgrading of the Millennium Highway and the West Coast Road. This consultancy is expected to target the role of masculine norms and driving behavior, the safety of women, men, persons with disabilities, youth, and school children in the project sites and nationally. All of this will be done with the aim of averting human capital losses and empower road users. I would like now to introduce the communications specialist on the team, Mr. Shannon Labon.
My designation with Fred's Engineering, the subconsultant communications specialist. Fred's Engineering contracted, as you just heard, by the government of St. Lucia to develop and design, implement what will be a socially inclusive and gender responsive public awareness campaign to help sensitize, educate, inform St. Lucians as to road safety and how we can utilize the roadways a lot safer. So this morning I want to introduce the team, Fred's Engineering, who have really a massive global footprint, having done work extensive across Europe, in the Caribbean region, in Antigua and Barbuda, and in Dominica as well. They're here in Castries, St. Lucia over the next 18 months to deliver this project. So we have our team leader, Paolo Paligo, who is here with us. Al Haywood is the survey specialist. She's also a communications specialist, having done extensive communications work. Other members of the team would include Ms. Sydney Jones, who is a specialist engineer with Fred's Engineering, and Antonino Tripodi, our director-in-chief, so to speak. That's the full complement of the Fred's team, and we're going to be here partnering with the various government ministries and stakeholders to see how we can save lives. When you look at the figures, annually over the last decade or so, we would have lost on an average 25 of our citizens yearly, and in some years the numbers have increased. So far this year, 23 of our citizens have perished. One life lost on these roads, one life too many. So this campaign, socially inclusive and gender responsive, is aimed at doing just that, helping to save those lives. When we look at the figures closely, you see it's a lot of young drivers, particularly young male drivers, who are falling victim to a lot of the fatal collisions and the carnage that we see on the street. So we're here to partner with the various agencies, and we'll begin the consultations this week. We've met with the St. Lucia Fire Service. We would have met with the Ministry of Education. We would have since met with the Royal St. Lucia Police Forces Traffic Department, Ministry of Health later today, and you, the media, this morning, very important partners in getting that message out that we really have to turn the curve and change the behaviors, utilize roads better, design roads better, so we can reduce on those numbers, safeguarding our motorists who utilize the nation's roads. So it's a pleasure to see you here this morning. I want to invite Anne Haywood. Anne is the survey specialist, and she would have been doing a lot of the data collection. But before Anne, I've been told that perhaps Paolo would like to just say a few words. Paolo, here you go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shannon. I'm usually really shy in front of the camera, so I will be just really short. I'm Paolo Perego from Italy, and I'm a psychologist, researcher at the Traffic Psychologist Unit of Research, Catholic University of Milan. And it's a pleasure to be here in this first week around this island. I already seen the beautiness of the nature, the ocean, the sky, everything is amazing. But at the same time, I'm seeing a big lack of road safety culture in every single moment that I'm walking around the roads. So we have a long path to do here, and I hope with the Fred engineering team to do a great job. So now I want to let Anne to introduce the rest of the project. Thank you so much. I was good. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone, members of the media, distinguished guests, fellow colleagues from Fred Engineering. We're thrilled to be here on this 2-week mission for the socially inclusive and gender responsive road safety awareness communication campaign. I know that's a mouthful, but in the next 18 months, you'll get accustomed to hearing that more and more. This campaign will serve to inform the situation analysis, which is one of the important project deliverables and milestones of this groundbreaking road safety initiative. The objectives of the situation analysis are as follows. We want to get a better understanding of the road safety situation in St. Lucia so that we can collaboratively develop and implement a road safety campaign that is evidence-based and representative of stakeholders' feedback and inputs. We want to build relationships with key road safety stakeholders like the media so that we can get project buy-in from the public, private, and civil society stakeholders. We also want to foster and encourage knowledge transfer and institutional strengthening through capacity building and the sharing of ideas. In terms of our methodology, we're engaging in stakeholder consultations over the next 2 weeks with a cross-section of government agencies, private sector entities, and civil society and non-governmental organizations. Inclusivity is crucial, so we are making sure that we meet with people with disabilities, women's organizations, transport sector organizations, elderly organizations, school principals, schools, and many other important road safety stakeholders. We're using both qualitative and quantitative research methods to gather data. For this mission, data is key, and we are emphasizing on combining qualitative data, which includes stakeholder consultations like semi-structured interviews and focus groups, and quantitative methods like naturalistic observations. So our team leader, Paolo Perego, has been at the roundabouts, you might have seen him, and he's observing to see if people are wearing their seatbelts. We also plan to administer knowledge, attitude, and perception surveys to individuals living in the project area, along with members of the general public. And we will also be administering school travel surveys to primary and secondary school students who attend school in the project area. Now, just to give you a little bit of understanding about the objectives of a KAP survey, because this is really important, what we're trying to do is we are establishing a baseline so that we can measure the extent of a known situation. So in this case, we are trying to determine if people in St. Lucia are knowledgeable about road safety and whether they are currently engaging in road safety practices. This will help us to identify gaps, identify challenges, and identify a suitable road safety campaign. So as I said, the KAP survey aims to provide a detailed baseline of public understanding, attitudes, and behaviors concerning road safety. By identifying key risk factors and gaps in knowledge, the survey will lay the groundwork for a socially inclusive and gender-responsive communication campaign, targeting at-risk groups. We already know who is at risk. Unfortunately, disproportionately, it is young males, usually between the ages of 18 to 35. So with the KAP survey, we're assessing public knowledge, we're analyzing attitudes, we're evaluating practices, and we're measuring campaign impact. And this is very important because we need to conduct a comparative analysis. So we're going to ask questions before the campaign, and then we have to ask questions after the campaign to see if attitudes are changing, to see if people are now becoming more aware of road safety, to see if individuals are now engaging in safer road practices. So we're asking important questions like, what are the main road safety issues in St. Lucia? What type of road safety messages will be inclusive and relatable? What communication channels should be used to ensure that the campaign is reaching a wide and diverse audience? What cultural elements should we consider when developing the campaign and key messages? So, for instance, in St. Lucia, we know that we speak Creole, Patois, just like some of the other Eastern Caribbean islands, and then there's also English, and there are also other languages that are spoken. So we want to make sure that we are inclusive and representative of the residents and citizens of St. Lucia. So to date, we have met with representatives from the Royal Police Force of St. Lucia, the St. Lucia Fire Service, the Ministry of Education, and youth non-governmental organizations, and they have provided us with valuable data about the road safety situation in St. Lucia. Shannon has already mentioned that alarmingly, we've already lost 23 lives in St. Lucia, and the police also shared with us that there have already been more than 1,100 recorded accidents, and we're not even at the end of the year. The majority of the road safety issues that have been identified so far are speeding, reckless driving, drinking and driving, non-compliance with seatbelt wearing, bad road conditions. In terms of the role of the media, I can't stress this enough. As members of the media, you are key partners and critical road safety stakeholders, and we need your support when it comes to disseminating information about the project and the campaign and playing a leadership role in advocating for road safety awareness in St. Lucia. Whether it's radio, television, social media, print media, we want you to help us share key messages throughout the project's implementation. You can play a very important leadership role by publicly demonstrating your support and commitment and advocating for the prioritization of road safety in St. Lucia. I want to say a special thank you to the Project Management Unit's project coordinator, Amos Hippolyte, and his team, who are here in numbers. We also want to thank the Deputy Permanent Secretary, who we met with on Monday, Lorraine Matthew, and the Chief Engineer, Renata Philogene McKee. And of course, I also would like to thank my co-host, Community Liaison Officer, Tara Leonard Emmanuel. Thank you very much. We look forward to this project, and we really want to ensure that we make a difference with this socially inclusive and road safety awareness communication campaign. Thank you.